So, recently I came into a pair of Apple wireless earbuds. The TWS i7 in black. They proved to be reasonably good. Neat little charging case, charged with a micro USB, which is weird. But I've got a message today. And that relates to this. I went downstairs a few minutes ago, popped one out of my ear to say something, to talk to someone, and it slipped from my hand and hit the floor. A laminate fake wood floor with a wood underlayment, not concrete, so not hard at all. And this one popped open. I thought, man, look at that. That's really flimsily held together. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but this bit here, the outer bit, which is, okay, there's a spot around the edge of it here where there's a bit of a tab that I believe is part of what holds it to the bigger bit here. I'm going to see if I can get it to focus on it. I'm going to sort of use see if you can show the outline of it against the white of the background here. If you look like you're going to see it. Okay, okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, you can see that is essentially the sum total of what it appears, anyway, holds this shit together. That's a very teeny little, like, plastic tension clip, essentially. You know, that little tab is slightly sort of bowed out from the perimeter of the rest of the edge where it joins, so you can get a squeeze a little to get it together, and it clicks, and you know that the tension of that holds it in place. But that is first of all, I'm surprised that the whole thing isn't. I would have thought, because Apple doesn't like you getting into their shit, that there would be what the hell do they call it? There's a term for it. Electrostatically welded. The two plastic pieces. I would have thought they would have been electrostatically welded together, so you couldn't get into it at all. I'm sure everyone's come across items, plastic-bodied things that you cannot open up without physically damaging them. There's no non-destructive entry method. So anyway, it did offer an interesting peek into the guts of this thing, and it's pretty much what you would expect. There's a tiny little headphone, just a speaker element on the bit there, and all the wires are, hair thin. And put the lithium battery pack on it, which is the gold wrapped bit that's capped on tape wrapped bit right there, is just stunning. I've never seen one that small. And my son had some little remote helicopters. Quads several years ago. They were not expensive ones. They were like palm-sized ones, and they had a 50 milliamp hour lithium poly pack on the bottom, which was maybe, 7/8 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch by maybe 1/4 of an inch thick. And at the time, I was blown away by how small that was. I thought, man, it's amazing that can pack any power at all. These freaking things, holy shit! If you squeeze that round, it wouldn't be as big a round as an ordinary number 2 pencil. It wouldn't be. It would be a little shy of that. And that's, god damn, that's like, if you were to sort of estimate the thickness of the foil wrapper on the pack to figure out the actual width, the size of the actual, bit of shit that makes the energy on the inside. I mean, damn, you're talking like 1/4 inch maybe by, I don't know, whatever. The point being, it's freaking small, And so anyway, so that happened, and so I picked it up and I thought, okay, let me go get some super glue. And I fished into my pocket and put in the other one. No, I took the other one out of my other ear, and I dropped that, and that one popped open too. Now, this is not the first time I can't imagine these are the first time these things have been dropped ever in their life. I'm not the first owner. I got them from somebody. But there's no way in the world these have never been dropped from, waist height to a floor before. Whether it was actually from waist height to floor or from, head height to a table. I mean, these things had to have endured some kind of impact before this. And even if they hadn't, certainly they should be capable of dealing with that incredibly minor type of impact that any personal electronic item is going to have to endure. Cell phones take thousands of drops in their lifetimes without really showing much wear for it. I know not only do they, sometimes the screens don't break, but, the components don't don't become dismounted. Circuit boards don't break, so, and most relevantly, the plastic body doesn't pop open, showering the room with the inner components of your phone. They seem to do a good job with phones of keeping all that shit wrapped up inside. If anything's going to happen to it when you drop it, it's not going to be that it pops open. Although, back in the day, that would be the case. Years ago, I used a Nokia 6010 candy bar type phone, and if you dropped that, the back cover would come off, the front cover would come off, the number pad would come off from the front cover, and the battery would come out. But you could pop it all back together in 2 seconds. And they were all, and all of those pieces all had, well, not the rubber number pad, but all those plastic pieces had plenty of good, stout, not knobs, but tabs and slots, whatever, to fit all together and attach the phone in a way that allowed them to do that. I mean, shit, I had many of those phones and I Frankensteined them and took them apart and put them together. I bet you those parts were good for like 10,000 assembly and disassembly cycles easily, that's pretty amazing for something that's only meant to be like, not really, I don't know. I guess they encouraged battery replacement then, but still, maybe like, a couple dozen openings. And yet it was built to last. These things, which obviously they don't want you to get into, but they build them like they want you to get into them, and I don't know, there's no adhesive on these, there's no electrostatic welding, there's just that tab. Can you imagine how many people have had these, dropped them, seen this, and thought, oh, it must be broken. I guess I got to get new ones, and gone and spend another $120 at Apple for them. Fucking criminal. But you know what? The only thing that's more unbelievable to me than the fact that Apple continually gets away with subpar, not products, because not the products as a whole aren't bad, but subpar design and some aspects of their products, consistently poor things and battery life of that. But the only thing that's more outrageous than that is the fact that their customer base, their loyal customer base, doesn't seem to give a shit and will defend Apple over this stuff. You talk about something, you'll say, how can you still, buy that when Apple did blah, blah, and he said, and they'll defend it and say, oh, well, the only reason that happened is because, they had a bad hair day or whatever. Like, are you shitting me, man? If your car blew up and the manufacturer said, oh, it's because of some, we meant to give you the recall because of some bad thing, they wouldn't say, oh, okay, it's not the car company's fault. Shit, no, why? I don't understand why Apple gets this pass. That people, the Apple fanboys are just the worst, man. They're like North Korean school teachers. Oh, what the hell is that? Yeah, it's not school teachers, I'm sorry. It's like North Korean school teachers. North Korean, propagandists talking about the dear leader or whatever. It's like, man, dude, hold them to this. Apple should be held to the same standard, at the very least, of a Samsung or anybody like that. And if any, LG, whatever. And if anything, they should be held to a higher standard because they consistently charge the highest prices for their products. And they consistently claim that theirs are the best, bar none. So if that's the case, make the best fucking product. And that just doesn't mean that they certainly are the nicest looking usually. I will give them that. They're often the benchmark setters for different capabilities like processing speed and memory and whatnot, in the moment it comes out, but that's always very, very quickly matched and usurped by everyone else. Some would say that because of that, they're the ones pushing it forward. Just horseshit, because if they weren't doing it, somebody else would be doing it. It's not like the specs of personal electronics wouldn't continuously improve generation to generation if Apple wasn't pushing the boundaries. That's fucking stupid, obviously, because if they didn't do it, someone else, you would have, obviously, come on. Businesses are run by people that think, they might not be good people, they might not be smart people, but, it doesn't take much to figure out that if you have something that's the same as everyone else and you want to sell more of them, make it slightly better and you will sell it. Come on, it's fucking stupid. So, Apple is, instead of Apple being held to the same or higher standard than all these other companies, they are apparently held to no fucking standard, and they can just do whatever, foist whatever kind of bullshit off on people, remove completely standard and well-used and loved features on a device, like a headphone fucking jack, from it, sell the idea as progress, and get all their moron buyers to defend the idea. I know, it blows me away. It blows me away. I think I'd like to see maybe a few generations have an iPhone come out where you hook a wire up to your body, and every 13 minutes it shocks you in the balls. But it's progress, and it's in the future. All devices will be like this. We're just ahead. We're just getting ahead by doing it. And that guarantee, man, the Apple fanboys about there saying that you're an ass if you didn't believe it and you didn't do it, and how God bless Steve Jobs' rotting fucking corpse. Ugh. Fanboys, they're the worst. Wait, fanboys for anything are the worst. I'm sorry, fanboys, girls, whatever. Fuck you. They're the worst, and I think the Apple ones are the worst of the worst. They could run a fucking camp for. Apple could run a camp to train people who wanted to start their own cult. Man, I should do that. Whoa. Oh, man. Check back later for details.